Hello my friends, it is January the 6th of 2024. Alright, so this is my first video of 2024 and I have plenty of videos planned for this year. Lots of very interesting videos and I'm really looking forward to making them. Alright, so this video, my first video of 2024 is a collection update. I've purchased another great bunch of heavy metal albums and I'm going to show you these albums and talk to you about them as well. Let's get right into this. Up first is Wolves in the Throne Room with the Crypt of Ancestral Knowledge. This album came out in 2023. This is an EP. Incredible band. I've been a huge fan of this band for many years, since my early 20s. I started getting into them when they had released the album Two Hunters. That was their second full-length album, and I've been a huge fan of theirs ever since, and have been keeping up on them ever since then. Incredible stuff. They have more of that atmospheric black metal style. This band is out of Washington. Their music just has this certain magic to it. It's just very spiritual sounding. It just transcends you out of this world. There's just something just phenomenal about this kind of music, and this album right here is just excellent. This band has really evolved their sound very nicely throughout the years. They've definitely changed somewhat, and yeah, such a consistent band as well that have put out so many great albums, and yeah, I really enjoy their style so much, and great album right here. Okay, so that is Wolves in the Throne Room with Crypt of Ancestral Knowledge. Shining with fodd, forlorare. I probably pronounced that wrong, but anyhow, this album came out in 2011. I've become a huge fan of this band over the past, I would say, about 9 months or so. Yeah, I really enjoy this band so much. I've been familiar with them for many years, probably since like my early 20s. This band formed sometime in the late 1990s, early 2000s. They were definitely part of that early sort of depressive black metal scene. This band is out of Sweden. Yeah, so I've been familiar with them for quite a long time, but I always sort of dismissed them for whatever reason. I think partly because of the controversy that always surrounded this band, especially involving certain members. So I always just didn't really take them that seriously. But when I really started to get into their music, I realized just how incredible it really is. Their sound is very progressive sounding. The musicianship is just top notch, excellent production, and yeah, just the band that writes really great songs with lots of emotion, and yeah, very unique stuff, very well written music. This is a great album right here. This band has come out with a lot of great albums, and really enjoy this one so much. Okay, Shining, yeah, excellent band. I just enjoy their music so much. Definitely have become one of my favorite bands over the last little while. Okay, so that is Shining with fodd, forlorare. Shining with Varg, Utan Flock. This album came out in 2018. I've been listening to this album a fair bit as of lately, over the past week or so. I've been listening to it quite a bit and have been enjoying it quite a lot. Great stuff right here. Just another great Shining album. Incredible band, and I definitely want all their albums at some point. I definitely want their entire discography. I've purchased a bunch of their other albums as well over the last little while, so I'm just sort of gradually getting all of them. And yeah, just an excellent album right here. Excellent musicianship, great production, and yeah, just love the mood so much on this album. And yeah, just Shining, incredible band. Just really enjoy their music. Okay, so that is Shining with the Varg, Utan Flock. Shining with their self-titled album. This one came out in 2023. I did include this album on my top albums of 2023, and I just absolutely love this album. It's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I just really enjoyed it so much, and yeah, just really well written music right here. Very dark and depressive sounding, but also very memorable sounding as well. Very dynamic. There's just so much going on within these songs. It's just very unique music, just very well written, very progressive sounding, top-notch musicianship, incredible production. Just everything about this is just phenomenal. I really enjoy this album, and I've really connected with this album quite deeply, and yeah, just enjoyed so much. Shining, again, such a great band. Just enjoy their music so much. Okay, so that is Shining with their self-titled album. Enisum with Forgotten Mountains. This album came out in 2023. This is an atmospheric black metal band out of Italy. Great stuff. They've been around for a while, and I've been familiar with this band for quite some time already. They do have a number of albums out, and so I started getting into them over the last, I guess, about 9 months or so. I picked up this album, and yeah, great stuff. I'm a huge fan of atmospheric black metal. It's definitely one of my top 5 favorite styles of music, and this band do put out some really high quality atmospheric black metal. Really enjoy this stuff so much, and yeah, this is some really well written music right here. Really good stuff, and a band that I will definitely be getting into more so in the future. Okay, so yeah, definitely happy to have this one in my collection. Okay, so that is enisum with Forgotten Mountains. Forgotten Tomb with And Don't Deliver Us From Evil. This album came out in 2012. I've really gotten heavily into Forgotten Tomb over the last year or so. I've been a fan of theirs for a number of years now, but over the last year or so I've really gotten heavily into their music, and been purchasing a bunch of their albums. They definitely have that sort of depressive black metal type of style. Their earlier albums definitely had that more traditional style of depressive black metal, but they've definitely evolved their sound more so throughout the years to include elements of like gothic metal and doom, and so they definitely have a nice mix of sounds going on here. Overall, I would just say that they just have a really dark and depressive style of heavy metal music. They just write really memorable songs as well. Lots of great riffs within their songs. It's just great stuff, and I really enjoy their particular style. I really connect with it quite deeply. Yeah, definitely have become one of my favorite bands over the last year or so. Just enjoy their stuff so much, and I've been listening to this particular album right here a fair bit over the last little while, and I've been enjoying it quite a lot. Great stuff. Okay, so that is Forgotten Tomb with And Don't Deliver Us From Evil. Forgotten Tomb with We Owe You Nothing. This album came out in 2017. Another great Forgotten Tomb album. I definitely want to have their entire discography. I do have quite a few of their albums already. I'm missing some of their earlier albums, so at some point I will acquire those albums and eventually have their entire discography. But yeah, great band, excellent stuff. I mean, what more can I say? They just write incredible music that's very dark sounding, very depressive sounding, but also very memorable. They just manage to write really memorable songs that do contain hooks, and yeah, just enjoy this band's sound so much, and really enjoy them. What more can I say? They definitely become one of my favorite bands over the last little while, and yeah, excellent stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you're not familiar with Forgotten Tomb, and you definitely like a more dark and depressive sound, or you're into more of the like depressive black metal stuff, or just dark metal or gothic heavy metal, definitely check this band out if you're not familiar with them. Okay, so that is Forgotten Tomb with We Owe You Nothing. Primordial with How It Ends. This album came out in 2023. I did include this album on my top albums of 2023 as well. Incredible stuff. I really do enjoy this band quite a bit. I've really gotten heavily into the music over the last, I guess, a few years or so. I've been a fan of theirs for quite a number of years, but it's really been over the last couple of years or so that I've really gotten heavily into them, and I was anticipating them having a new album come out, and they announced that they were coming out with this album, so I definitely had to purchase a copy. Yeah, I'm definitely very pleased with it. It's just another very solid Primordial album. This band is just quite good. They definitely have more of that kind of blackened folk metal or blackened doom metal style, very dark and melancholic sounding. Yeah, there's just lots going on within their music, lots of different harmonies happening. Yeah, just very memorable music, well written, excellent production, amazing guitar work, I must say, excellent vocals. It's just all around incredible stuff right here. Primordial, definitely one of my more favorite bands. I just enjoy their stuff so much. Okay, so that is Primordial with How It Ends. And the last album on my list is Stained with Confessions of the Fallen. This album came out in 2023. I've been a big fan of Stained since I was about 14 years old, maybe, since like the early 2000s when they had released that album Don't Break the Cycle, or Break the Cycle. I can't even recall what it was called. But anyhow, yeah, I've been a big fan of theirs ever since, and yeah, they were definitely part of that sort of new metal movement, but then they sort of changed their sound somewhat as the years progressed, and sort of went into more of a bit more of a hard rock type of direction. But they've come around since, and have released some more heavier music, and yeah, this is a pretty solid album right here. It's it's more varied in its styles. It's got some heavier elements. It's got some more hard rock stuff going on. It's yeah, it's got even some like electronic type elements going on. It's definitely more modern sounding. I would say somewhat different from their earlier albums, but also very similar in many ways to their earlier albums. So if you enjoyed their earlier albums and you haven't checked this one out, definitely give this one a listen. I think it's pretty good. There's some pretty good songs in this one. There's some that I'm maybe not too keen on, but I would say for the most part it's a pretty solid Stained album, and definitely enjoy Stained so much. I do have almost all their albums. I'm missing their first album. Their first album, Tormented, that one's quite difficult to find. You can find copies of it, but it's fairly expensive. But that is a really good album, that album Tormented. But yeah, I do enjoy Stained quite a bit. At some point, I will do a Stained albums ranking video, so that will happen at some point. I don't know when exactly, but I definitely want to do that video. Okay, so yeah, excellent album right here. Okay, so that is Stained with Confessions of the Fallen. Alright, so that's another bunch of great metal albums. I definitely enjoy this album so much, and if you're not familiar with some of them, definitely check them out. Okay, so as of lately I'm doing okay. I've been incredibly busy. As of now, as of today, I am on holidays from my job. I do work a full-time job, and so I'm taking a few weeks off now, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's a much needed break. I've definitely been under a lot of stress over the last while, so it'll be nice to have some time off from that job, and it'll definitely be nice to really get caught up on some things, especially my music. I've fallen behind somewhat, and so yeah, I'm going to use this time to really get caught up on my album that I'm currently recording, and that is coming along well, and I'm quite happy with the results so far, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and so having this time off will definitely allow me to get caught up on that. So yeah, and otherwise I'm going to keep busy with some few other things, and do some shopping and just some other work around the house here. So yeah, definitely a much needed break, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so yeah, all right, so please leave some comments. I'm always curious to know what you guys think, and give me a like, and if you don't subscribe to my channel, please subscribe, and yeah, all right, so I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I want to say thanks to all the people who watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. Take care, my friends. Cheers.